ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This is our first clan battle replay of this current season. It just started, so it's very fresh. We've got Patton in here to talk about his lineup. This is AAA against RESIN. Now, between the two clans, and I don't mean to offend Patton, but between the two clans, I would think of RESIN being the stronger clan.
Maybe.
Aha. And the only reason I bring that up is, like last COTS, for example, you guys got far, but not as far as RESIN. That being said, if I remember right, you guys were one of the few teams that actually won a battle with a bot, which is hilarious. And you almost won a second. So, anyway, let's take a look at the lineup. You guys have your super ship as the Hanover. San Martin, Des Moines, Moskva, Napoli, Daring, Marceau. Enemy team, Montana, Annapolis is their super ship. Moskva, Napoli, Daring, Marceau. First and foremost, what was the comp chatter like in regards to the enemy team's comp?
So we our comp was basically a 5v2 essentially, or a 5-2 split. So we basically chucked the San Martin and the Marceau at sea.
Okay.
Them like spot, like take damage, radar, so on and so forth.
Okay.
And then we try to win the A flank.
Okay.
So we basically predicted the Napoli and the Marceau probably going like B, C, usually.
Okay.
Also predicted the Annapolis gearing smoking up around the A cap. So we told our destroyer to watch out. Our daring.
Oh.
We didn't know what the Montana or the Moskvas would be, but we predicted they'd be near the islands. And yeah, that was it.
Okay. And
yeah, so the reason we were bringing Hanover is because we basically dismissed the Ushakov out of hand. Like, all the other clans apparently really wanted to bring Ushakov. That ship never even factored into our, like, a serious consideration.
Okay,
Mainly because, like, yeah, go ahead.
So Ushakov, I mean, it's literally just better Kremlin in some regards, but it has, like, if I remember right, we looked it up, it's got, like, worse torpedo protection, worse something else. So, it's not like a straight-up buff like the Hanover is, right?
Right. We basically picked the Hanover because our battleship main really likes playing the Hanover.
Now, that's another very important topic. It's not the comp, it's the players. You always have to build a comp based around the players, not the other way around. It's one of the reasons I actually stopped playing clan battles in Kraken, is because they kept saying, oh, well, Zath, you need to go play this ship. And I'm like, dude, I'm trashing this ship. I don't like this ship. I don't, we just don't click. Nope, you gotta pick that because that's the meta ship. Okay, well, now I'm playing a ship that I don't enjoy, don't have fun with, and you're expecting me to win? So, I like that you said, hey, Vermilion loves the Hanover, let him pick the ship. There you go. I like it.
Yeah, we picked Hanover mainly because, like, we thought that the gun build Hanover was actually slightly better gun-wise than an Ushakov. It also has, like, the overmatch, so you do better against Montanas. And I guess the secondaries in Hydra are always useful.
Sure.
Is having a Hanover over, like, a regular tier 10 battleship that much of an advantage that it compensates having a Des Moines instead of an Annapolis, though?
Oh, that's a good question.
It doesn't feel to me like that. Like,
the problem we've had, like, with the Annapolises and like smoke comps in general is basically, like, it's really hard to utilize the smoke. Like, the Annapolis is pretty long. It's not as maneuverable as the Des Moines. So usually you don't really, like, use the Annapolis to its full potential.
Okay. So I paused it here for a sec. Your Marceau is really in trouble. San Martin's not able to help. Enemy Marceau's out there. Why the heck is he shooting here?
He's a relatively new Marceau player. We wanted to put him in there to get him gain experience. He's actually a battleship main.
Okay.
He's been practicing in ranked.
Okay. Sausage, where is the Des Moines? You're not blind. It's a replay bug. When you break the camera free, every other ship except your own ship shows up. So that's part of why I told Patton, hey, if there's an important moment, call it out so that I can kind of snap zoom back into his position. But he is
It's only at the end.
Direct front.
he's south of A right now. If I zoom in, you can see his ship right there. See it right in the center?
You can still
Anyway.
see it on the mini map, though, right? Like,
Yes, you can. Well, you can
Yes,
see the
that
arrow.
island.
the arrow.
So anyway, Marceau's looking in trouble. He does break off contact, which I think is important.
Yep. But our San Martin makes up for it.
So, I mean, San Martin's got pretty good AP pen. He's got the radar and stuff like that too. He's getting some shells in.
Yep. Yeah, we basically told them to just hold position because the Napoli like wants to push, so just lure him in.
Now, I find it interesting. I'm going to pause again for a sec because when you see a Napoli on the enemy team, just like a Venezia, Henri, Goliath, I would immediately think that's the kite flank. Right? Am I wrong by that statement?
It depends. Usually, like if you see like a Napoli on a flank,
Uh-huh.
it's either a push flank or a kite flank, because Napoli can do both really well.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm just asking because if you look at how the enemy is deployed, they are also going strong A side.
Right. Usually, like but like if it's a 1v1, then usually like the Napoli will just try and like push them off just to gain a bit more map control.
Mm-hmm.
Never know what might happen.
It makes sense to
So
me.
yeah,
when they
now I'm
push.
just basically farming this Moskva, trying to get him back.
See that?
Then
I see
two
that.
Ranger. Yeah. Isaacs takes a bit of a beating because of the Annapolis smoke there.
Who does?
Sorry, Isaacs
You're
are
daring.
daring.
You're daring. I see it. I see it. So the gearing smoke allows the Annapolis to get close enough to radar the daring, pumps a bunch of shells
Right.
into him. Okay, fine. Good. Gotcha.
Problem
The
So
cave,
right now
um,
it's just like nobody's really committed to the cap yet, except I
No.
guess our daring, but yeah, kind of paid the price for it. We're just kind of waiting out the Annapolis smoke. Our battleships aren't really trying to get like farmed down.
Yeah.
Annapolis trying to get position on the 1-2 line, stuff like that. It's mainly just skirmishing right now. And yeah, so now we see the Napoli Marceau try and push and farm down the San Martin.
Yep, I see that.
I mean, it makes sense, right? The Marceau took a beating early on. There's a huge hit points at one. There was one who... And you would think that the Napoli beats the San Martin.
Yeah, you'd think that. You'd be wrong.
Not in a kiting away. I think if the Napoli's kiting away from the St. Martin, yes, but not when he's pushing.
Yeah, so again, Hollow's in a bit of a crossfire with like the Moskva on the 6th line, so I'm just trying to like beat him up so that
torpedoes
we
to
trade somewhat. But on a 1v1, the Napoli never kills the San Martin, especially if he's kited out, because like the heal is like so fast that the Napoli physically can't DPM him down. You need something like maybe a Des Moines,
Right.
or to
Now,
like
sorry, go ahead.
in order to like actually get the San Martin down in 40 seconds.
If he's in range of the sap secondaries, that's a different story. Now classics, very low,
Yep.
healing now.
Yeah, he got pushed off by the Moskva radar. They
I was
got
just
like
gonna
a
say that.
sort of a death, yeah, like a death grip on that A cap. And here's the good call. So Chase is actually backing up in order to get cross shots on that Napoli.
Right there, the
Maybe
southern
to,
Moskva in Golf 5. Yep.
Yes, Chase.
So there's the radar to prevent the smoke, so Napoli can't... Well, he's just outside the radar range, I suppose. But in any case, he does go down. So that's a good... I agree, that's a good use of your guys' ships. Back him up, get the kill. Nice.
Yep.
Something is in that smoke screen. Of course, actually behind it, that's the Napoli.
Annapolis
Shoot.
again.
Yeah, or sorry, the
Gonna farm
Naples.
down the Hanover.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're
nothing
gon-
really happens at A yet.
Well,
And
it's
unfortunately,
tough.
Hollow basically goes down to like 1,000 HP or something like that. So, Seas has like basically stopped being a real threat to the enemy team for a while after until after Hollow heals back up.
He's at 1395 right now, so I think, yeah, that's a good idea to kite away a little bit, try to heal up a bit. You mentioned A being kind of a no man's land, and that makes perfect sense. You've got a Moscow radar coverage of all that, plus your Des Moines radar coverage. They've got a Moscow radar coverage and Annapolis radar coverage. So,
Yeah, they haven't managed to control like the 1-2 line. That's basically the only way you can pinch me out.
right. And they're pushing. I can see they're trying to get behind you here. But Fellion's Napoli with the daring are doing a nice job of at least trying to convince the enemy to not push, right?
Yep. So you sort of see like the Annapolis, where he caught out Bowen, basically like a glorified Des Moines. Now
Yeah.
he just has to take it.
Be nice if Vermilion Knights, Hanover had a good shot on him, but he just doesn't right now. Too many islands in the way.
Not the best. He's also focused on the Moskvas so that they don't push up for free.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of taken a goalie positioning. Okay. So at this point, I mean, you guys, of course, are all in voice communications. You're talking through the battle, what's going on, etc.
Yep.
What are you guys thinking about now?
Right now, we're basically saying hold positions. We have a good grip on A. C's relatively well defended.
Okay.
We should be fine.
So, I mean, the reason I'm bringing that up, you guys have the advantage right now in points. So, Resin is going to have to do something, correct?
Correct.
So, you're trying to tell everybody, hold. Now,
Yeah, so right now, we're saying Moscow is probably pushing up the 7 line and trying to get C with the Marceau. So
Okay.
right now I'm telling Chase, hey, can you do something about that?
right. and
Moskva.
he's continuing to be shot at by K-Bomb and others. So, he probably can't do too much about it.
Yeah, I'm saying like reverse in. Like, do the same thing he did to the Napoli.
Ah, okay. So you want him to back up a little bit. You're thinking that the Moskva is going to go into this channel because you already saw him a few moments ago north of that island, right?
Yeah, and right now I think we saw that like the Moskva's probably diving the A cap, like just sitting on that EF island.
Uh-huh, and sure enough, there's your radar. You do catch him doing just that. Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't expect the Annapolis there. Like just camped on that rock.
That's pretty close to where he was last spotted, right?
Torpedoes astern.
No, he was a little bit further back. This was a little bit aggressive in my opinion.
Okay.
So right now I'm planning to make a play.
Okay.
So I see the Annapolis, right? He's in Bowen in a really nice position, but the Montana is covering him. However, the Montana is so far away that he can't spot me when I pull out. I'm just waiting for the radar to die down so I can dive into the cap, kite away from the Annapolis, and then farm him down.
Let's
Because-
take a look at this. So you guys get an idea of his position here. You're dark shooting at K-Bombs Montana with your front 2 turrets.
Yep.
Now, why is that? Again, let's take a second
I'm
and
trying
look
to.
at.
Yeah, so right now the Montana's a little bit too close for me to pull off the like the maneuver I was thinking of doing. I just wanted to discourage him.
Right, you want to push him back, and you're going to just farm him for free. So why is
Yep.
this the case? Because your vision is based off of the center of your ship, the exact center of your ship, and the highest point, whatever Wargaming puts in there. Now, the island is between that center high point and the Montana, which is why you are not detected. They don't have anybody north of A that can detect you while you're shooting. That's the reason why you're shooting for free. This is a very difficult but rewarding position to be in with a Des Moines. And you can see
I can't
K-Bomb
get
are
like slightly tipped.
Sylvie Baguette, I'm
Yeah, the
sorry,
Annapolis
is shooting
firing
at
me,
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows you're there.
Yeah, they know.
Okay.
I really wonder what their gearing is doing. Like, it feels like he's doing nothing.
Well, their gearing is basically is meant to cause the smoke train, but at this point, there's no need for him. So you're right. They don't know what to do with him.
He's
Look at this.
basically trying to rescue the Annapolis. He's just waiting for smoke to come up and then smoke him out of there.
Right. That's the only thing he can do. I like looking at the San Martin and the Moscow right now. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your Marceau shooting over an island for free at the Moskva.
Free.
Okay. Alright, looks like this is your hold my beer moment. Yep, you're going 100% full speed. HE loaded in the barrels. Montana's turning. Now this is crucial because chances are his front 2 turrets are not going to be able to shoot you. And you're going kiting away here. Okay.
Yep. How they know that I'm in here?
Napoli gets the kill. That's huge.
Yep.
You're continuing to shoot K-Bomb. Wow. I might have tried to go
I'm
dark,
taking
but
my
okay.
hydro. There's nothing I can really do.
Oh, yeah, at this point, that's true. Yes, you are. Okay.
I just gotta, other the Montana and hope he doesn't get like the rear citadel. Yeah, the San Martin Moskva brawl is also pretty fun.
Your Marceau does die to theirs, though.
Yeah, right now I'm just delaying the points. Because like right now we're even, right? Like
You're very close, yeah.
every moment I delay is another moment that we can do something.
Okay.
Either kill the Montana or kill the Moskva. Like
Now, this
that.
is big. Their Moskva that went to the other side of the map does go down. Now you've been pushed off the
Yeah,
cap.
so right now, I realize we win on one cap. I get out of there. Make sure I don't ground.
Okay.
Yeah, technically, the Marceau can actually farm down the San Martin. Just because like the San Martin does so little damage to destroyers. So that's like my only last worry. The last thing that they can't really do.
Well, or the Montana can get a very lucky hit on you.
Yep.
But angling
Zero
is a thing.
damage.
Wow. San Martin kills the Marceau. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Let's take a look at your replay render. Here we go.
That was so off. Like, that gearings felt so useless on the enemy team.
Like, he's setting up smokes. That's it, right?
Yeah, but like your daring, for example, got spotted a couple of times with the radar. They already knew it was low. I think they could have tried to make a play with that gearing way sooner. And instead was just in the back, launching torps, smoking, launching torps, and that's all it did.
Well, those are the two strengths for gearing, though, right? Is the smoke, the American smoke, and the torpedoes that have pretty low reaction.
Yeah, I was more surprised that like the Moskvas didn't really do much.
Yeah.
They just camped at those two like middle islands. It's like one of the safest places for a Moskva. I feel like
You're
they
right.
could have played earlier.
Actually, I'm looking at it right now. One or both of them could have moved up and totally together destroyed the San Martin, but they didn't.
Yep.
I think they expected the Napoli and Marceau to do it, and San Martin just didn't care. I think the big thing, though, is Chaser backing up with that Moskva and getting the shells in.
That's like a pretty common tactic.
Oh, yeah,
Just
absolutely.
backing up.
This is a very static map, and it's very difficult to play because it's very easy for a team to, what we call interior lines from a military perspective, be able to take advantage of just backing up and getting shots. Versus other maps where you might have to like pull forward and try to get into positioning and stuff.
Yeah, right. This map basically turns the like the ocean into like a 2x2 grid.
Yes, it
It's
does.
really
Right.
easy to get like the grids because the middle is locked down. There's only like a few gaps, right? And entering through those gaps with anything larger than a DD is pretty dangerous.
Yep.
Yeah. Most of the combat usually goes on the 1-2 line or like the 8-9 line.
Yep, and I mean, RESIN did a nice job positioning their Moskvas. I don't think that's the problem for them. I think the problem for them is their Napoli Marceau over pushing. Because once that happens, it
Yeah,
kind
I
of
guess
starts the domino effect, right?
Yeah. I think that they knew that like they had crossfire on the San Martin, so they just thought Napoli pushed the San Martin, and I think they also realized that our Marceau was also really low. So even if they like the Napoli and the San Martin trade, Marceau fight's just easy.
All right, well, Patton, hey, thanks for sending this one in. It's nice to look at a clan battle. Is there anything else that we missed here at this point, or are we good?
No, not really. I guess
Okay.
like one last thing is that the Hanover pretty decisively like Montana, as like I was able to bounce pretty much all the shells fired at me, and I delayed the cap long enough for the other flank to do something.
Wait, go back. You cut out again. You said the Hanover did something to Montana?
Yeah, the Hanover I think countered the Montana pretty well.
Okay. And we don't see the Hanover really getting into secondary range, which of course is part of the gimmick. So it's mostly just the armor, the guns, the hit points you're talking about, right?
Hydro as well.
And the Hydro. Got
I think
it.
they tried to launch a few
Yeah,
torps at him.
which is another thing. Like that gearing stayed out there on this one line the whole time, like trying to torp down the line to the Napoli and the Hanover. That seems so ineffective to me. Like,
I mean, don't
what
correct
else
the
did
enemy when they're
gearing
making
do?
mistakes, right?
Yeah. I think at like the end when the Moskva was reversed and I was under pressure,
like
Aaron could have slowed the cap.
I feel like here RESIN could have made a play for the cap. Like your
I
Moskva
was
in the middle
surprised
was
too.
backing out, like trying to help on the other flank.
No.
But they
So
didn't.
at high tier competitive, what I typically find players will do is they'll set their pieces on the board, so to speak, and then they'll wait. And what they're waiting for is the opponent to make a mistake. And in this particular game, aside from your Marceau dying, I can't really find any other mistakes that your team made, right? Maybe
Right.
the daring, but he's still alive.
Yeah, the daring still had some influence, like chip damage here or there.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the daring surely had more influence than the gearing had.
Yes. Yes.
It's like I get the idea. Like you want to wait for a mistake on the enemy and then punish it. But the problem with that whole strategy is like if you're not ahead on points, you're eventually gonna run out of time.
Mhm.
And they were behind at that point. I think that would have been a great opportunity to make a play for them there.
Yeah. Again, high tier competitive, generally they don't worry too much about being down on points until, well, frankly, it's either too late or very close to too late. You know, it's kind of like that last second push. I feel like that's what they were trying to do, but it just didn't happen. They couldn't make it work.
Yeah, they usually like setting up ships in safe positions just around the caps and then waiting at the last second to push.
Exactly. In a
I think that was what the
coordinated
Moscow
push to
Yeah.
where nobody else can react to it. I think again, that's the big
But
part.
that
Napoli
wasn't even
dying.
a coordinated push there in the end. It was just the Moscow eventually going in the cap and sitting there.
Right, because the Napoli died. I think if the Napoli didn't die, this would have been a very different situation. But they overpushed on that flank. Napoli goes down. Now they lose that ability to put pressure on both sides at the same time. Okay. Well, hey, thank you for sending that one in, of course. Very much appreciated.